Yoke's ready.
Can we jump on this plane now?
Yes, like let's fight. Madagascar week.
Blood running through my veins. Hit hard like a hurricane. Mind sharp like a razor blade. I'm a knockout, knockout. There's no doubt. I'm a champion. Got gold hanging from my neck. Lion's pride lives in my chest. Ain't no man put me to the test. Ain't no doubt that I'm the best. I'm a knockout, knockout. There's no doubt. I'm a champion.
Madagascar madness.
Madagascar madness.
Welcome. Just the weather could cause a little dip in the feed, but we seem to be okay for now. It's pouring down with rain here, and we are here with a surprise guest here. We're here at Racetech Yamaha's premises with Shay. Shay,
how's it, guys?
Lekker. Good to be here.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for having us. First things first, tell the guests who your new address is.
Okay, so yeah, as of October we've moved to Westmead. We're at 51 Alexander Road, Westmead. A couple of guys have said we've moved further away, but if you take into consideration the route to get here, it's 2 turns off the N3, so it's just much easier for anybody to get here. Come up the N3, come down the N3, hook a left into Richmond, hook a left into into Alexander Road, and you're right here. So it's a lot easier for guys to get here, and we've now got a dedicated showroom, we've got a dedicated workshop, we've got manufacturing areas, we've got a pub that will be opening soon here, so yeah, big things to come.
Yeah, Shay took us through a little walk through earlier, and it's exciting. It's lovely,
it is, yeah.
Lovely. You walk straight in here to the reception area with the new beast here,
New toys, yeah.
and then into the office area, and it's nicely divided up, which you didn't have at the old premises.
No, we were very open plan, industrial feel before. We've still gone with a bit of the industrial feel, but a little bit more modern at the same time.
Nice showroom style where you got like
different
like
areas.
little
maze,
showrooms,
keep you
and
excited.
Yeah.
You have to walk around to find the goods.
You got a nice roller door to lock the customers in until they've bought the ski as well.
Nobody leaves without paying.
So the move, obviously it took a little bit of a while. So you're now ready to. You've been open for a while now, and guys can come in and get everything they could have got at the old shop. Is that right?
Yes, everything there, and we've got 1 or 2 things coming up. I mentioned across. We've just taken on some more parking space, underground parking here. So by early next year, we'll be offering a parking facility for some of the upcountry guys. A lot of them only use their skis down here at the coast, and when they come down, they find that their batteries are flat or there's something wrong with the ski, and they lose a day or 2 of fishing. Whereas if they can now store it here, there'll be a lock-up storage facility for a couple of guys. When they say they want to come fetch their ski, they give us a call, give us 2 or 3 days notice, say I'm coming down, I'll be here on Friday. We make sure the skis, batteries charged, fuel tanks full, everything's ready for them, so they don't have to have any downtime when they get here, and they can just go straight and fish.
Okay, perfect. That sounds awesome, eh? Now, just in terms of, well, we're going to chat a little bit about the skis and things. What new in the shop? You obviously got the little shop area, and are you going to have some new stuff that you can maybe buy in here? And things?
Yeah, well, so recently,
we're hoping to maybe put some Go Fish apparel in here, I think.
Well, we want to go the apparel way, yes.
Put a bit of pressure on you there on live stream.
No, well, geez, I don't know. It depends. It depends how good your product is.
I'll give you a free buff.
Yeah, but yeah, it depends. We're definitely going the apparel route. I'm sure you've seen the jackets we launched a couple of months ago. They went like wildfire. People are still ordering them, and so we've got an apparel section. We want to venture further into that, and we also want to go into a tackle section, which we discussed earlier, but it's been put on hold a little bit at the moment, but we are going to go that way, and we're going to target only jet ski anglers. So it's what
shop.
you need to get on the water, so you can buy your ski, you can buy your tackle, and get on the water and go fish.
Nice,
That's the way we want to do it, yeah.
Okay,
and it'll be specific to our game.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, before we get into what we've got behind us here, just a couple of various sponsors and a few things that have been happening. The new Lowrance online mag comes out tomorrow, and there's also the launch of the new Elite FS system, FS standing for Fishing System. That's coming up soon, and we're going to go into a lot more detail on that Lowrance system on its own in the next week or so, and we'll be chatting a bit more about that. Club Marine have got that social media comp going, and there's actually a lucky draw. So we're actually going to do that lucky draw for the Club Marine prize now. That's the little Club Marine package. I'm just going to ask Shay to choose a number between 4 and 72, and then we'll call out the name of who's won that prize. Okay. So give us a number there.
I'll say 31.
31. Hope it's me.
No, it's not going to be.
Maria Nuvunga. So well done, Maria, and the guys at Club Marine will get hold of you to win that. You've got that awesome Club Marine pack with buffs and caps, and so that's a fantastic prize there from Club Marine. And just on to a little bit of news. Last weekend we had the Umhlanga Ski Boat Club Summer Festival, and that was a great hit. You know, obviously with lockdown and COVID in that, there haven't been a lot of events, so it was really nice to see a fishing festival on the go, and there was a lovely weather gap on the weekend. So, and often, you know, this time of year, you're a bit tight on the weather, and it worked out perfectly. It was an awesome weekend. There. Byron and his crew had a fantastic event, so it was lovely to see. And the first place went to a kayak fisherman, and it was Roscoe Rottenbach with a 31.48 kg tuna. And that was caught on the Saturday, and he managed to hold on to his first place right through till the end. Second place was Justin Painter with a 12.88 kg Dorado, because basically how it worked was it was the winning fish, and then it was the winning fish, then a fish of another species
can only take second.
So that's a big Dorado, 12.88 kgs. And then third place was Doug Dustin with a 10.02 kg yellowtail. And then top jet ski, Graham Ludwig with a 22.64 kg tuna. Top fishing ski, Rowan Coleman, 27.38 kg tuna. I think Rowan and Roscoe were fishing together. In fact, Rowan got his fish on the Sunday and got a lift back with Roscoe. So Roscoe went round Durban 3-4 times for Rowan to try to lose some weight on that tuna. Top lady was Faith Lateran with a 30.04 kg tuna, and then top junior was Rory Kane with a 20.96 kg tuna. some lovely fish came out, eh? 4th place, Daryl Bartho, 28.38 kg tuna. Jason Page, 24.8 kg tuna. Some nice big fish around. Some nice big tuna around.
No, it's about time. We've been waiting for them.
You saw that big fish today as well.
Yeah.
Eh?
What is it? 36?
36 kg tuna came out at maybe I shouldn't say because you know it's a lot. 7 boat.
Oh, good luck, guys. It's going to be West Street there tomorrow.
Jared Opperman got that today on a popper. It was a fantastic fish on a kayak. Eh? And then this weekend coming up, next weekend coming up is from the 17th is the Belito Ski Boat Club King of Salmon Bay. And entries are closed.
Yeah,
full up already.
Completely full.
But you can still go down and join the festivities
exactly.
and watch what's going on there. Obviously, guys, COVID protocols, wear masks, they'll sanitize, social distancing. You know, go out on the beach. You know, the best place to be is on the beach. Besides what some officials seem to say, but
exactly, yeah.
Out on the water and on the beach. Yeah, that'll be an awesome comp. It's always an awesome comp. It's a great festive atmosphere. So we'll look forward to that, and hopefully there'll be some good weather. And it looks like good weather.
They've got some amazing prizes, I must say. Ellie's done an incredible job.
Alistair Bucktail France has been using that Bucktail.
He's been hooking them properly.
Yeah, no, it's been great work, eh? And so it's going to be an awesome comp, which is something to look forward to. Now let's get on to some of what we've got behind us here. We've got let's chat about tubbies. Okay, now we were talking before, as I said, let's talk about tubbies and what they're for. And the reason we say that is because a lot of the guys who watch the show, they know what tubbies are for, they've got tubbies, and they're going to wonder why we're talking about tubbies. But there are guys who often ask, what are these for and
why
their benefits and why do I want tubbies?
Exactly.
So tell us a little bit of history about the tubbies and then and their uses. Yeah.
Sure thing. Okay, so Tubbies was basically a brainchild of Patrick, as you know, back in the day. The way the story went was he had a larger customer on a ski who kept falling off the ski and basically came to him and said, listen, I need training.
Like a fatty puff type customer.
Yeah, almost like Kirk, you know.
I was just using code there, but okay.
But anyway, yeah. Okay.
Not trying to offend himself.
Yeah, exactly. He's not here. But so basically, it boiled down to the guy needed training wheels, which went to obviously the Hawaiian style, you know, the outrigger, pontoons on those dugouts that they've got, and from there, this was born. So there's been a lot of research into it, right from back in the day. It was, I think they started with an inflatable one, then it became the old round shape ones that we see on the older skis and things like that. And then we've progressed and just got them better and better all the way through. Yeah, it's an evolution. And with the evolution, we've found out the pros and cons, what to do, what not to do. So in the older round ones, we found that the tubby actually slanted down at the back here, which gave you a bit of a porpoising action. So that's why all of the new tubbies, all of our XLs, the EX, the VX, the Latchon, FX, all of them, they all sit on the bond rail. So the bond rail, as you are traveling in the water, as soon as you're on the plane, the bond rail is completely out of the water. So a lot of people,
resistance on that.
Zero resistance once you're traveling. A lot of people will turn around and say, oh, but it's going to give me a lack of performance, it's going to hinder me, it's going to cause resistance, things like that. So the way they're designed is on the plane, they'll never touch the water. Obviously, we fish in the sea, you're going to get waves, things like that. You will get them touching and things like that. But realistically, put it on flat water. On the plane, it's never going to go. People have turned around and said, listen, I can't do sharp turns because of a tubby. And I put that to the test when we did the first London stunt and things like that. When we launched the 2019 and the new shape tubby, I took it there and I did donuts and all sorts of
aerial footage.
all that aerial footage. I went out there with the purpose of ripping them off. And didn't happen. Could do what I wanted with them. It didn't hinder me at all. In fact, it actually just made the craft easier to operate. So for the guys that are out there that say, listen, they're going to be hindered by it, it's going to slow them down, they don't need it, you don't need it. The realistic answer is you don't need it. But why not? It gives you stability when you're fighting a fish. When you're sitting drifting, it's super stable, you're not going to fall over. I can sit on the outside of these tubbies. I'm 105 kilos, I'm a fatty puff myself. and the ski
They're
won't tip
really
over.
these days, huh?
Yeah, picked up a little. So, as I say, you're not going to sit on the side of your ski without tubbies, without causing problems. So
And you got the nice fighting platform.
you've got an amazing platform, and as I say, it now keeps the craft stable. I can put, geez, you know, when we fish the Ponto Comp and things like that, I put in about 30 kilos of tackle. You never need that much tackle, but
so I
obviously,
can fit in easily.
I think we might even just test putting you in there just now. But anyway,
Yeah, we've done that before, man. No, there was a
fish
bag.
yeah, but so as I say, I can load 30 kilos plus of tackle in there. I never need that much tackle, but
Yeah.
I've got the space for it. Then the other side's completely open. I still load my fish. I've got my live well on the back, and we'll show you when we do a bit of a walk around some of the newer things we've started doing on the tubbies, and especially on the cages and things like that, to give guys more of an idea where we're going. Because before it was just a platform to get things going where people didn't understand how the fishing thing works and how tackle works and things like that. So we've put a lot of thought into it. We've moved a lot of the rods to the inside of the tubbies to get them out of the spray, because a lot of the guys that fish on skis are using Stellas, they're using high-end reels, and it's costing them a packet for their reels. I mean, a decent Stella is 15 grand, and now you put it on the outside here, and you're traveling, and it's just getting hammered with salt water the whole time. It's forcing it into your reel, and it's just stuffing it up. We move them all to the inside. They hardly get any spray on them, and we actually start looking after our stuff and looking after the customer stuff. Yeah.
And they still come in a number of different sizes, eh?
Well, no, we've only really got one size. Okay, so for each model, there's only one size. We do the standard XL tubby. They used to do the triple XL, which was labeled the aircraft carrier or coffins. They're way too big, things like that, and they were a loss leader. It takes too much effort, too much time, too much money to actually build a set of triple XL tubbies compared to what you can sell them for. So it wasn't worth continuing with the XL. When we went on to the EX, that's the smallest tubby we get, but then again, it's the smallest ski we get. I don't know if you remember when we did that demo on the EX of Durban. You used that little one. And it's got the tiny little tubby, but there we designed it for a small ski.
EX,
it's specifically built for that one, so it's a lighter, cheaper tubby to fit on the cheaper entry-level ski, and it works bloody well. So yeah, we only do one standard size basically, otherwise, which is called the XL. From the 2019, when the shape changed on the FX, we actually lengthened the tubby. So I don't know if the camera can pick in here, but
what we'll do is we'll do a walk around. We're going to do a walk around.
So we extended it by about 150 mils. Only reason is because it ended here, and with that beading there, it left a big open space, which just looked nasty. So
and does it also create a bit of resistance, maybe?
It would have, yeah, or it would have caught water and sprayed it up. So that's why we extended it there, just to finish it off and make it look more like a factory fit.
Well, we're going to just chat about the latch-on system as well. And that's the patented latch-on system.
Yeah.
I'm just going to show a video. Cam will give me the thumbs up when he's ready to go. And this is just how quick and easy it is to take these tubbies on and off.
Yeah, so this video was shot for a customer who wanted to know how quick and easy it is to do.
Okay, I'm going to just play that now for you.
First two things you need to look for, you've got a latch there, one in the front of the tubby. As you can see, there's the tubby from the back. Then underneath here, you've got that latch there and that latch there. Alfred will show you how to take it off now. Go for it, Alfred. So as you can see, he's just going to turn that latch down, unclip it there. Turn that latch down, it unclips there. As you can see, that just turns off like a normal bolt. Just turning it off there like that, takes it out. As you can see, the thread on it there, it turns in. Then you'll go to the front one, same thing. You may have to angle the tubby slightly to get it to go in and out easy. And then when you're putting it back on, it's obviously just in the reverse of this. You should have it out shortly. There you go, he's got that one out. I'm going to step back. This one here, the plumbing hasn't been completed. The only thing is you'll do the extra thing of the plumbing coming on. And that's it. You'll be left with those two little things, which I say, just try and get a little M8 bolt to put in there and there, but otherwise all good. And as I say, to put them back on just in reverse of that.
Cool. So that was a perfect little
Yeah.
run over of exactly how that
Shows
was.
how
So
quick it's
easy.
done,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if you basically, like you say, some guys say, oh, we don't need those. It's
Yeah.
guys who maybe want to use theirs on the dam or whatever, and they don't feel like having the tubby system on while
When they want to go
racing around
and
or
water
whatever.
skiing and things
Off
like
it
that.
goes and back on it goes when they're ready.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And that's also why it was
And a one-man
designed-
job.
Yeah, as you saw, it's a one-man job. There was only one little thing that wasn't done. As I said, it's because it was on the ski that we've got here that wasn't complete when we did the video. And the only other little part would have been disconnecting a gardenia fitting, which is like your hose pipe at home.
Okay.
So a little clip, and so it would have been extra 3 seconds on top of that there. And straight away you've got yourself your plain ski, go skiing, go playing in the waves, go and do whatever you want. And that there is one of the biggest sellers we've got in the States, because in the States they're talking about going and doing these, what do they call them, sandspit invasions and things like that, where they want to go out to the sandspit, take all their stuff, take their cooler box, things like that. When they get there, they whip them off and they can carry on and play as they were with a normal thing. They don't actually have to bring a boat along carrying all their extra gear.
And that's also what they use them for in the Oz in the States a lot. Some of these guys actually not even using them for fishing. They're just for they're storing their luggage or like an overnight trip on
Exactly
the water.
that. Well, I've actually had guys request that we don't put rod holders on the back. They want slightly different size cage in that for them to put extra fuel. And it's just for extra fuel so that they can go and
shows
they
how-
do the Florida Keys
versatile
and
they
things
are.
like that. They do the exploring on in the Keys and things like that.
Well, what we're going to do is I'm just going to do a walk around with Shay on the ski and on the tubbies. And what we haven't even spoken about,
Yeah.
we're busy talking about the tubbies. This is the new FX model.
This is the 2021 FX HO.
The only thing that's missing is a Slayer Tate on there.
Yeah, soon you'll see a little sticker down here. It'll be here tomorrow.
He thinks
Slayer Tate.
He's watching and he's just waiting to get on this thing, isn't he?
He's already said, hey, listen, we'll have a new captain soon or a new skipper soon. Well, Slayer Tate, come fetch it tomorrow.
And what's new about the ski?
So 2019 to 2021, there haven't been any changes. It's
Should we walk around? Should we walk around
Okay,
it while
sure
we?
thing.
Okay, you just keep talking.
Okay, cool.
So,
Okay, basically the exact same ski.
sorry, 1 second. Microphone. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, basically it's the exact same ski as the 2020 or the 2019. It's just the color differences. It's the batteries aren't connected at the moment because they were busy finishing off the electrical connections. But it's still got the touchscreen dash as per the 2019, 2020. It's basically exactly the same ski. It's just different coloring. From the older FX that we were used to, the 2012 to 2018, there's a hull shape design that's different. It is a bit, when I say a bit more nimble, actually it's a lot more nimble, the ski. It seems to get on the plane a lot quicker, it turns a lot easier, and it's a pleasure to ride. If anybody wants to ask, they can speak to people like Slayer Tate, things like that have been on them, and he still switches between his 2018 and his 2020, and he'll be able to tell you straight out the chalk and cheese difference in it. And then, like I was saying earlier about the extras, the little things we think about as fishermen now when we're doing the cages and the tubbies. So if you look here you'll see the push bars. In the past, we used to have just the little cage here, had the 4 little bolts there, and what we noticed there was in Ponta especially, when we have the big Ponta comp, we've got to get roughly 100 skis into the water in a couple of minutes. And a lot of those guys, when they come down there, they come and they grab the ski and they want to push, and they push on here. And what happens is there's 4 little screws here, and it ends up cracking the bottom and it breaks it out. So we've now designed, this was actually designed out of Salmon Bay by some of the Salmon Bay locals. It's what we call a push bar system. It now carries the weight through to the back of the tubby. I don't know if you can see that over there. So when you want to grab and push, you've now got a handle to push. It's not going to rip the little screws out of here. And at the same time, you're in a surf zone, so especially Salmon Bay. As I said, this is where it was born. You've got a nasty shore break there, and
you don't want to be a submarine.
Exactly. Most of the time, you end up being a submarine at Salmon Bay. But when you get the call wrong, you can actually hold it back.
Okay.
So you're not going to be dedicated now. You've got nowhere to hold the guy back.
Yes.
Now he started moving. You can actually stop and hold the guy back, or you can dedicate and push a lot easier and better, and you're not doing any damage, and you've got somewhere to hold, and you're pushing at the right height. So that's the one safety feature that I would recommend for anybody that's actually doing any decent surf launch areas. I wouldn't really call Ponta a surf launch compared to Salmon Bay and places like that. And then, okay, on this one, yeah, this is as we've discussed it.
We've had some moments in Ponta.
No, we've had some heavy ones. We've had some really heavy
yeah.
ones. But as I say, not like
Nothing like salmon.
Nothing
yeah,
like salmon. Yeah, notorious salmon. As we've discussed, this is Slayer Tate's new ski. So he's the Yamaha ambassador. This is his 2021 new vessel. So he's chomping at the bit to get on it and get some fish on it.
What is Nano XL?
Nano XL, it's a type of fiberglass.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's a nanotechnology where the molecules move together closer to make it a thinner, stronger product compared to your normal standard GRP or fiberglass resin. So it's a bit more of a technical fiberglass. It's a lot harder.
It's going to move around
repair,
the ski a bit.
but it does make a lot of sense in skis and things like that. Another thing, before you go too far from the cages,
Sorry.
as I said, this is
I'm not a professional cameraman.
no, it's all good. So this is Slayer's outfit that we've got here. Normally, I would not have a rod holder on the outside anymore, as we were discussing.
Yes.
Rod on the outside, all the spray coming in is coming straight into your reels and things like that. That's why we've now gone the 3 on the inside
Okay,
each. So
yes.
I can put 6 rods here. Well, now Slayer can actually have 10 rods here.
Okay.
But what this one actually and the outside one on that side for are, because of the live streaming that these guys do, it's for their camera booms and things like that. So that's why he's got on the outside, but the rest will be on the inside. So that's just the 1 or 2 little things that we do. And then obviously we've just gone the new HDS 7 from Lawrence on his skis.
Should we go up there? Have a look here.
He's also a Lawrence ambassador, so that's why we've got a nice decent Lawrence on there for him, ready to run. And yeah,
Do you want to pop them open and we'll just have a
Yeah,
look
you can
inside?
have
What are we using here? Railblazer?
yeah, Railblazer
accessories?
rod holders. Obviously they are adjustable, pop out quite easily. You can face the rod backwards if you want, or wherever you want. A lot of guys, sorry, this is another little quick thing as well.
I was actually going to mention that,
Yeah.
where they put it.
When you're trawling light baits, cooter, slow trawling, things like that, I would fish at 90 degrees, as you can see here. You've got nice long rods, you've got a bit of a softer tip on your cooter, so when it goes away, you don't generally break. But now, I've seen guys that'll go and put on a 300mm deep diver, and then they want to put it in here and expect to be able to pull it. The amount of strain you're putting on here is not ideal, first of all. And then second of all, when a fish does go, because your drag is so tight, that something's going to have to break. So I have seen 1 or 2 break because of things like that. If the guys are going to fish a deep diver, I'll say just drop it 1 further round, drop it down a little bit lower,
Just adjusting that angle.
just adjust that angle, and you haven't got the same torque on there when a fish goes away.
That puts the strain more on the reel
It
than
puts
just
it-
the rod. Yeah,
it
rod
puts
and
it on the
reel.
rod and then pulling off
Yeah,
the reel,
yeah,
as opposed to a 90 degree trying to get that reel to
Yeah,
actually break friction when it
Yeah.
starts running on the drag. It's just little things like
And
that.
this little system here?
So this here is what we call it for short QATS, QATS. That's quick access tackle storage. It's got a little button at the bottom. Push it down there, and it's for your things that you use often, your pliers, your knife. When you finish with the lure, you throw it in there so it's out of your way. And then at the top here, obviously, you've got a little bit of a recess section where you can also keep some of the stuff when you're not doing. And obviously, your trusty drinks holder for your Coke, because we don't drink out at sea.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Then on the inside, obviously, you can see you've got heaps of space.
On. Sorry, we just lost them for a second there. All good?
Okay. So,
Losing again.
Yeah, hang on. Just make sure that the connection is nice and there. Hold it.
Can you hold that?
okay.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. Bit of a technical issue there.
There we go.
That's what happens when you put short people in control of cameras. Okay, can you see up there? But yeah, as I was saying, you can see inside here, you've got
Extend the pole.
heaps of space inside here, and quite easily fit that 36 kilo tuna you were talking about earlier. I've seen 36 kilo tuna in slightly smaller tubbies. I've seen 30 kilo cooter in them. So we've got enough space in here for some decent fish.
Okay. All right, Shay, thanks.
No, cool, bud.
Okay. Now, another thing we were chatting about earlier is, okay, you've got this rig, this perfect system, and you're out on the water, and sometimes things go wrong. Spark plugs get jammed up, or you can run into
technical issues. Yeah.
Chat us through what little sort of things can happen, and that you can troubleshoot yourself out on the water. Let's say you're out on holiday and you need to just sort yourself out on the water.
Okay, so yeah, basically, if you've maintained your ski with a reputable company, you're not going to generally have issues.
Yep.
One of the biggest things we see where we do have failures or we do have breakdowns is a lack of maintenance. When I say a lack of maintenance, I'm going to use that term loosely. So your service intervals on a ski is every 50 hours or once a year. And I mean, being in the game, I see it all the time. So we get guys that will come here and say, listen, I don't need to service my ski. I've only done 5 hours or 10 hours in 3 years. So yes, I hear you haven't done your hourly thing, but we have, as I say, a service interval of a year for a couple of reasons. One is obviously your oil filters are mild steel. Okay, we can't make an oil filter in stainless steel, so they're mild steel. If you've been using it in the sea, you get a bit of salt water on there, that rusts. You need a tiny little pinprick hole in it, and the pressure that your oil system runs at, it just pumps all your oil out, and you get stuck out at sea. So that's the one thing that you need periodic maintenance for. Second thing is your spark plugs. Your spark plugs are steel, your head is aluminium. If you understand a little bit about the science of dissimilar metals and electrolysis, if you leave it in there for too long, it almost welds itself in, so they seize in. So one of the main reasons of doing your service every year is, number one, your oil filter. I've only done 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. You say, listen, I've only done that. I don't want to change my spark plugs. Speak to your dealership. Say, listen, I don't feel my spark plugs need to be changed, but let them at least take them out, put a little bit of copper slip or grease on them, put them back in, just so that they don't seize in there. And then the third thing is obviously checking the complete condition of it, making sure that there's no other issues and things like that. So if you stick to making sure you've got it serviced once a year, you generally won't have an issue. Okay, so that's just putting that out there. As I say, that's why I say lack of maintenance in a loose term, because I can understand. Somebody says, I've used my ski for 5 times or 5 hours.
So
why must I service it? I service my car. I can go a lot further in my car, things like that. So that's the
But
one
I guess
thing.
the other thing is as well is salt water. That's the thing.
Salt water is a big thing. And then also the other big thing is you're going to take this thing out to sea. Some of the guys, I know, I've done it myself, I've seen a lot of guys, they'll go 20, 30 Ks where they shouldn't be going that far. But you're going to get, you don't do the maintenance and you get stuck out there. Then there's no one to help you. Right? So that's why we say, you know what, I'd rather take a little bit more care of yourself, a bit more care of your craft, and won't let you down. And then obviously the biggest problem we have with skis and breakdowns is actually batteries. Okay. So your standard ski, when it comes out of the factory, comes out with a lead acid battery. So that's like your cars, the old style. You go to the garage, you top up your battery water, so on and so forth, with distilled water. On a jet ski, jumping waves, breaching the water, things like that, you get a lot of shake in there, so that goes, the water comes out through the breather, and as a result, those batteries fail in our use. On the dam use, different story. You can have a battery forever. So what we do is we normally upgrade the battery to a slightly higher amperage battery, especially for the fishing skis, and then we go to a gel battery. So you never ever have to maintain it. It's a maintenance-free battery. But that being said, especially during the COVID time we see now, guys haven't used their ski for 6 months and they left the battery connected. Nobody's disconnected the battery, and over time, just by it being connected to the wiring system, it will draw power. And so it draws power, the battery goes flat, they don't know it. Battery's been in for 3 or 4 months, they leave it for 2 months. After 2 months of being flat, the plates on the inside bend. So now the battery, you come here and I say, listen, throw the battery away and it's going to cost you a whole lot of bucks. So a big thing is dual batteries. Even if you don't go dual batteries, it's going to become law. I know we can talk a bit about it if you want, but I know what's coming up. They are pushing that dual batteries are going to become law because the battery that is in the ski is designed to run the ski only. Not run a bilge pump, not run a VHF radio, not run a fish finder. So we're adding all of these extras on, expecting it all to work off the same tiny little battery that just starts the ski. You wouldn't put it on to that tiny little battery on your boat, if you think about it that way. So it is something that's going to be put into law soon, and that's why I'm putting it out here. It's going to happen. So rather be ahead of the curve.
All these laws, a lot of guys go, oh, these new rules, okay, we can talk about that extensively. And most of those laws are done for the safety of the person out at sea.
It is. Well, the reason, as I say, they're now pushing it is because they've taken all the stats of the amount of skis that get towed back. So not every launch site reports every incident where somebody was towed back, but every time somebody's towed back by NSRI, they get it goes into a book and it gets back to SAMHSA, SADSA, things like that, and they say, okay, listen, we've had mechanical failure. That's what it normally comes back at. And once we've looked into it, 90% of it is actually battery related. So if you're out at sea and your battery goes flat, we were talking about what can go out, what can go wrong out there. So you've fished the whole day, you've run your bilge pump, you've run your fish finder, it's completely flat. There is no start. There is no pull start. There is no push start. So that's why the dual battery system. At the same time, the dual battery systems we put a simple isolator switch in. It's a marine grade one, but it's a 4-position, so it's battery 1, battery 2, both batteries or all off. A lot of guys, when they launch, they'll just put it on both and just fish like that. That's defeating the whole system, because you're supposed to be fishing on one battery. When that one starts giving you hassles, you've got your second battery, which should be full at the same time, and if failing that, you can switch it to both, so you've now got 2 batteries jump started together. So that's how that whole system is supposed to work. And if you work it the way it's supposed to work, today you fish battery 1, tomorrow you fish battery 2. You keep cycling your batteries stay in good condition, you don't have any hassles. And that is the number one cause for breakdowns out at sea. There's not much you can do about it, but having decent batteries.
Pedal.
Yeah, it's a long pedal of that. Or NSRI can become a statistic.
And people must just...
Don't be scared to phone NSRI. That's what they're there for. That's what they're there for.
You're not going to get charged, you're not going to get in trouble.
No.
You'll have to make a report, but they're there to rescue you.
That's
because
exactly
things go wrong at sea.
Exactly.
And that's a
and
fact.
And then talk about other little things. I had a customer that came in this week, old Pete, and he came in, he white in the face, he's just new to the game, and he says no, he's lost all confidence in the ski. He had to come back in limp mode and things like that. And while he was here at the shop, I just got underneath and just listening to what he said. No, he lost all power. He fished perfectly the whole day, and just when he wanted to come in, he lost all power. He had to take somebody else off the ski, things like that, which was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
When you do have an issue, get all the extra weight off the ski, make it as light as possible, things like that. So he did the right thing there, and he brought it here the very next day. Listening to him, he said, no, he lost all power, just cavitating, things like that. So you won't be fishing the whole day and just start cavitating. If something like that happens, it tells you there's some sort of external force. Okay, so if anybody's out there, they're fishing, and all of a sudden the ski starts vibrating or cavitates, and they've got no go, 9 times out of 10, it's something in the impeller. Okay. So that's why I keep a pair of goggles on my ski. I know a lot of the heavy fishermen do. They keep a pair of goggles on their ski. If something like that happens, you can jump in, go underneath, have a look into your intake grate and see what it is. So when Pete got you, climbed underneath his ski, and what did I find? A piece of plastic packaging, and you know that hard packaging tape that goes around the boxes? That had gone around there. Hadn't caused any damage or anything, but it's taking up space. So as it takes up space, and now it's also got, call it webs or whatever you want to call it, every time that's spinning around, it's creating bubbles. So, which is your cavitation, and that's why he couldn't go. So it was saying simply like that. If he'd known about it, he was confident enough, he could jump off, put a knife in there, try and cut as much of it out, and he would have been able to go again. But so if you do lose power out there, that's generally what the problem is.
Important thing when you do that, turn your ski off.
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. You're not going to want to put your fingers in there with it run. But you're never going to jump off with it running because it's going to run away from you too.
But you must be just very careful out there when you're doing things.
No,
and also, don't just jump in the water.
Check the surroundings, check everything.
Check for johnnies and things like that. And the unfortunate thing is that there is a lot of dirt in the water. There is packets and things.
Unfortunately,
And
especially
that
after
can
rains.
easily happen,
Yeah.
The other thing, maintenance. Just a brief chat on maintenance when you're away. So we often see like we're talking about the Ponta comp, where they'll go there, they'll fish the comp, they'll put their ski in the water on the Tuesday, and they won't flush their ski out until either the Saturday when the comp's over, or even when they get home.
Yeah.
That is a no-no.
No, yeah, you know what? Even if you're not using the salt away or salt assassin or salt to go, there's a couple of different products out there. Even if you're not using that to dissolve your salts, just run it through with fresh water. You know, salt water is a killer, and you want to get it out there. You want to look after that thing. These things they're not a dime a dozen. These things, you know, they're pricey equipment, and you want to look after it. You don't want it to let you down. So the more you look after it, the better it's going to look after you. And at the same time, I want to chat about that on. Obviously, so we're a Yamaha agent, but we see all of the brands, obviously. So at the same time, I want to just mention a little bit about the Sea-Doo guys and things like that, and also the Kawasaki guys. So on the Sea-Doos and the Kawasaki's, you're running intercooled, supercharged motors. And on the Sea-Doo, they've got this closed loop system where they run antifreeze like your car, so it's like a radiator system, and a lot of them turn around, they go to events like that especially, and they say, listen, I don't need to flush my ski because I've got a closed loop system, I've got no salt water going through my motor. Yes, they're 100% right, you don't have any salt water going through your motor, but you've got salt water going through your exhaust to cool it down, you've also got salt water going through your intercooler to cool it down. And if you look at your intercooler, in some of those Sea-Doos, they've got an LE one at the back, or they've got a copper core one. And the material of the copper and the LE is so thin. And now copper corrodes, LE corrodes. Leave salt water in and don't flush it out, and it corrodes through, and then you get water spraying into your intake system, and then you start having errors and problems. And also, not only that, you have a costly repair on replacing the intercoolers. And the same goes with the Kawasaki's. They don't flush them out because they don't flush that intercooler out, at least, and it corrodes through, and then it's a costly repair. And it's just one of the little things I would like to say. You know, as I say, we don't generally have much of that hassle on the Yummy. We've got that system perfected on there because it all runs through the same system when we flush it. But on those guys there that believe they don't need a flush, you know,
you always need to get salt water off any of your equipment.
Off your rods, and another thing as well, talk about that, when you do use the salt assassins and the salt begons and things like that, what I like to do once I've run the ski, so also a lot of guys don't know the correct sequence, so if you don't mind, I'll run through the sequence. So guys don't understand how the motors work. So all of the jet skis, their exhausts are water cooled. So if you don't run it in the correct manner, then you stand the chance of filling your motor with water. I've actually got a skier, we've just finished repairing the motor because of the same thing. The guy put a conrod through the side of his block because he left his gardener to run it, and it started raining, so the gardener switched the ski off and left the tap running. And 2 hours later they saw there was water running out of the ski, tried to start it and run it, and it hydrolocked, and it put a conrod through the side of the block, and it's a costly repair. So basically on all the skis you want to start the ski first. Always get the motor running first before you switch the water on. As soon as the motor's running, you switch the water on, you run it for your 5 minutes, your 10 minutes, whatever, with your salt big on, with your fresh water, whatever you're running it with, run it. When you're finished, you switch the water off first. Go to your ski, give it a couple of accelerations just to not burn, but blow the water out of your exhaust, so you don't have excess water sitting in your exhaust, and then switch it off. So that's the basic golden rule of it. On boats, it's the opposite way around, so that's why guys get confused. You always put the water on first on your outboard and then start it because of your rubber impellers. So they don't have that issue. You always start the ski first and then switch the ski off last. Okay, so that's the golden rule in that, and just to save a lot of repairs or unnecessary repairs to guys.
Okay. All right, guys. So remember that. Keep your ski clean and keep it well maintained. It's going to save you a lot of money.
And sorry, what I was saying, or going to say, with that salt begone or salt assassin, things like that, what I like to do, you run your ski and everything, because it's normally quite a thickish liquid. Once you finish running the ski, that water, I've used it before and checked it, it's still got a lot of that property in it. You can feel it in there. What I use that then, because you're normally washing your ski on the trailer, I then spray my trailer, my axles, my springs, things like that, and I'm getting that salt neutralized on my springs and things like that. Spray a little bit over my motor. It also just helps get, instead of just fresh water there. And then also another big thing that with all of the skis is when you're storing it, if you can leave the seat completely off, even better, but if not, open it up, put a block of wood in there, because what happens is we store it in a hot garage, especially down here in KZN or further up the north coast. It gets extremely hot here in the garages, so all the water that's left in there, you'll never get it all out. Even if you sit there with a chamois, there's a little crevice that's hiding some water in. So it gets hot, that water evaporates, it comes up like a normal ecosystem, hits the top of your seat, and it drips down, and it starts running down off the motor again. So skis we've seen that are in storage for a long time that have had water, we actually see rust marks running down the motors. And that's just simply because the water evaporates up, hits the top, and starts raining back down on the ski. And it's that. Now you leave the seat open, anything that evaporates can now escape, and it just saves a costly repair again there as well.
Sure, that's interesting. Just on the maintenance note, sorry, find this here. This is just from Club Marine. It sent their top 5 tips for the week, also on maintenance. And first one is to always service and grease your trailer wheel bearings. This is obviously, we're talking holiday time now, so you're wanting to go on holiday. These are things you need to do before you get going. Check your spare wheel is in good condition. Take a decent trailer lock. You can get them from Outdoor Warehouse or Builders. 24/7 emergency assist includes a cross-border assist. Save those numbers to your phone, because that's crucial. You know, you pop across the border and then suddenly you can't get onto the internet and you're trying to find a number. Save those numbers so you can just dial them automatically, and then obviously make sure your COF and COCs are valid. And the same is for your skis as well, I guess. Check the trailer's an important thing. You must make sure the trailer's in good condition and the bearings are good.
Well, definitely. No, as I say, when we do servicing on any of our skis or anybody that comes in, one of the first things that actually gets checked is the trailer bearings and lights. And I actually had a bit of, I wouldn't say words, but a bit of a slightly heated discussion with a customer the other day, and he was like, "You never quoted me to change my wheel caps on my bearings." So I said to him, "Bud, your wheel bearings were loose. I'm not going to compromise on a loose wheel bearing. If I don't do that on somebody's ski for a 75 rand cap, and he's going from here to Richards Bay, that's where he was coming from, and he loses his wheel on the way back, or something along those lines, the first thing he's going to say, I was on my way back from race 2. So little things like that, we won't compromise. We'll normally, if it's a complete wheel bearing replacement or something, we'll obviously quote the customers, things like that, but it's one of the first things that we check, because you don't want to be stuck on the side of the road with no wheel on the ski.
100%.
You've been there, you know what it's like.
Just touching back on the Club Marine comp, so before I forget that, the comp is still running. So all you have to do is you go onto their Facebook page, like their Facebook page, and comment on it and share with some friends, and you get entered into the comp. We were chatting earlier, etiquette on the water now. It's holiday season coming up. We have crafts all over the place. We've got jet skis, kayaks, ski boats on the water, launching and launch sites. Now, one of the things we were talking about is at a launch site, and you've got a kayak, a jet ski, ski boat. The guys just need to have some good manners and some good decency. That's all it boils down to, is just using your thought process, having some manners. If you're a kayak fisherman and you're launching from an official launch site, you must remember that those boats and jet skis, that's the only place they can launch. Okay, so just have a bit of manners. That doesn't mean don't go launch there. All those launch sites are very accommodating for kayaks. But guys, just be aware that if you're out on the water, 3 or 4 kayaks, and you go over, you then jump, or don't jump in and launch as soon as a guy's got out on his jet ski. Might need to do a turn, you jump in, you suddenly right behind him. it's just about thinking and just having some good manners and chat to each other.
Chat to the
That's
local,
the
and
thing.
also chat to the local guys there. You know, that's what I would say. If you're going to a new launch site, go down to chat to the local guys. You know what? I don't think I've ever been to a launch site where I can't go and approach somebody there and say,
100%,
listen,
yeah.
what's the line? Just get a feel for the area and just get the
That's how
information.
you get your conversation
Exactly.
going. Just asking a bit of
Yeah.
safety tips,
And
and the
then-
guy will say, "Hey, we'll give you a push,"
Yeah.
and off you go. And then,
Exactly that, yeah. And us, especially on the jet ski side, we need assistance. These craft are quite heavy, so we need assistance to help push things like that. Mostly, we've done one or two with push bars at the back, but most of the guys push them in by hand. And so, if we all work together, we all have a camaraderie, we're all there for the same game.
Yeah.
Huh? We all want to get out on the water, spend our time in the place we love, and do what we love doing. And you don't want to have the nastiness of, hey, this cut me off. We've seen it happen where we were talking about it earlier. A ski boat, or like a kayaker or a jet ski or whatever, sitting in the mid-break waiting for their gap. They're not sitting in the mid-break because they want to stuff people around.
No.
They're actually out there, especially on a kayaker side. He hasn't got the momentum and the speed of a boat or a jet ski to be able to just choose a break and run.
so once he's out there, if
He has
you're
to
on a
wait
jet
for a
ski
break,
or a
yeah.
boat, just let him
Yeah.
be for a few minutes, and he'll be out there.
Yeah, if he's really taking a hell of a long time, then realistically he should turn around, say, listen, I can't make it out.
Yeah.
You know what, there's no shame in ever turning around. That's one thing I must say to guys. A lot of guys, I've never turned in the surf, and you know what, there's no time for heroes in this game. Those are the guys who get taught a lesson. There's no shame in turning. There's no shame in turning in mid-break and beaching and saying, this day's not for me.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's
And that's another thing, with
Yeah.
especially with like guys coming down from in holiday season and that, and you come down, you want to fish, and there's
And
a
you've
couple
got
of
fish
bad
calls,
weather
yeah.
days, and then there's a little bit of a gap. If you're not comfortable, don't launch, or like you
wait
say,
a bit
chat,
longer.
or wait, patience again, or chat to the guys around. And if you see locals sitting on the beach, it's a very good sign that you shouldn't be launching as well.
exactly, you know, exactly.
And the sea can change within a matter of half an hour and settle, and then you can go.
Tides change, things like that. And so, for argument's sake, we talk a lot about salmon, but when you got a bank at salmon, on the low tide, that wave's going to stand up very big on the back line, and it's going to stand up quickly. You wait half an hour, the tide comes in, but there's a bit more water over the bank, and all of a sudden it's a bit more manageable. So it's little things like that. Haste is a killer. Right?
100%. And then out on the water as well, the etiquette's important, because spots get crowded, and we know what it's like. You have kayakers out there, jet skis, ski boats and jet skis going past the kayakers getting cross, the jet skis getting irritated because the kayaker's in the way. It's all manageable if you just use common sense and just talk to each other, or just, for guys on a fish,
Give
stay
him his
away
space.
from him. You know,
That's
like
as simple as
often I could be on a fish, a guy will paddle up or come up on his jet ski, see what's going on. Shout to him from a distance, or watch what's going on. Don't shoot right up until he's landed the fish. Then pop
exactly.
over and see what he's up to.
Well, we had that interview a couple of years ago in Go Fish. You interviewed me. You said, listen, what can guys do, guys do? And I said, listen, guys can ask me any question any time of the day, except when I'm fighting a fish.
Exactly.
Just stay away.
Exactly.
When the fish is on the ski or on the boat or on the kayak, then go and chat to the guy. You don't get in his way.
100%, yeah.
Simple as that. Yeah.
And most of the time, the guys are they're gonna give you a couple of tips and be happy to chat anyway. So.
Exactly, yeah.
Just on another note there, before we sort of start closing off, and if Cam can just switch over there to my screen there. Just a little bit of a dedication to our friend Mick.
Oh, Mick, yeah.
Mickey, unfortunately left us last week, but this was just a pic of a lovely fish he caught
A couple
of weeks ago, yeah. So it was very sad for us, and we're not going to sort of linger on it, but we just wanted to dedicate a few moments to a legend of the game. I mean, this guy, he gave a lot to the sport.
He put his heart and soul into it.
He was the craziest hobbit out there. Yeah. So Mickey, miss you, buddy.
Yeah,
and,
rest in peace, bud.
We weren't gonna. Yeah. So guys, just coming up, obviously, is the Belito comp. We've got the holidays coming up, and stay safe out there. How long are you open?
We're going to be open right up until the 24th. I'll still be available for legit emergencies between the 24th and New Year's, the staff will come back on the 4th because it falls over a weekend. So they'll be back on the Monday the 4th. But yeah, so we'll be around. If anybody needs anything, then just give me a shout. We'll sort it out. And we'll try and keep them on the water as much as we can. But yeah, we always...
Well, let's not wrap it. Sorry, we're not going to wrap it up now. We've forgotten to talk about a few little items on the... Yeah, because I was actually someone was asking me the other day what lures you take out with you. And this is obviously more personal preference, and it's mostly based on a kayak. But it's always good to have a good selection of stuff. So... you were talking about 30 kgs of tackle.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit like that as well. I'm quite bad, but it's obviously always good to have a good bit of variety. And your trawl. It's always good to have good trawling lures. We've got the Kingfisher Rattler here. I don't know if Cam, you can have a good look there. Your Halco Loza Pros, always good to have in the tackle bag. That's the red and white's always a good colour.
Red and white, very good.
And your chrome pink it is. And then this is the 160. It's a slightly bigger profile. This is mostly kayak stuff. There's the Nomad Starks minnow.
That thing there is a killer.
Deadly, eh?
That thing catches
Deadly.
fish even if it's just floating.
And
in the water.
see there you've got 3 different profiles, and that's important to have in your tackle box. And
Definitely, yeah.
have a good variety of stuff. So
You'll be able to match the hatch as well. That's
Exactly.
a big thing, yeah.
And same goes with your casting lures. So you've got a couple of poppers here. Got the Halco Rooster. It's just a slightly sort of shallower face. The Nomad Chug Norris. That's a deeper cup. So they're just creating sort of different movements on the water. And then it's always good to have a variety of spoons. You've got your Halco Twisties, getting down to a smaller profile of if you've got sprats on the water, a little Bite Me Sprat, and some GT ice creams, and then your socks stick baits here, jalapenos. So you see here we've got a nice variety of different sizes, because there's always going to be different size bait fish in the water.
Yeah.
And like you say, you want to match the hatch. Yeah. And then obviously, Ellie's favourite, bucktail, which is you've got different sizes on this as well. Yeah. So if you're looking to sort of stock up and just get a few lures for on the water, make sure you mix and match it a little bit. Get a variety of different sizes and profiles. Yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much about all the different colours, but there's a certain couple that work well. That ice cream colour of that Rattler, you get it in the Halco as well. Very similar sort of multicoloured pattern.
Yes. Yeah.
The red, head, white always works well. And then I think that's the R15 if I remember correctly.
Yes,
the
R15 is always like a go-to
that there
colour,
is a go-to colour. Definitely a go-to colour. And then as I say, just different profiles because of matching different.
And obviously
size
on a
bait
jet
fish.
ski and a ski boat, you want to go a little bit bigger. Maybe like your Williamson Speed Pros always
Speed
good.
Pros always work well. Yes, very very
In
good.
fact, when we were up in St. Lucia, the guys were talking about that orange Speed Pro, and we kind of couldn't believe that it like you look at that thing and you think, why does that work so well? A friend of mine was up there now, and he had been watching, and he used that, and he was nailing the Salies and Wahoo and Dories. So yeah, guys, the summer game fisher here. Live bait fishing is always good. Lure fishing, there's plenty of different tactics to use, but the best tactic to use is get out on the water.
Yeah.
If you're not on the water and you're not on the fish, you're not going to catch anything.
Exactly.
So
You don't have a line in the water, you can't catch a fish.
if you go out one day and don't catch, that's not the end of summer. There's plenty more days around.
Yeah. And
So yeah, Shay, thanks for having us.
all good. Are we going to discuss that next year's comp? Or
Yes, sorry. A couple of guys have been asking about the Race Tech comp next year. We haven't set a date yet. We're looking at mid-March at the moment. The reason we haven't is because we're still a little bit wary of what's going on. With COVID and the second wave coming, there have been talks about provincial border closures, closing beaches, and with that comes possible border closures. We're not saying that's going to happen, but we just want to see what happens in the next week or so with this so-called second wave before we go ahead. So guys, get yourselves ready. Mid-March is where we're looking. We'll have all the details coming soon. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a waiting game, unfortunately.
Yeah, at the moment that's the times we live in, and
Yeah.
until things settle a bit, we
much
we
we
just
can
have
do,
to we have to play it a little bit day by day. But yeah, tight lines on the water for
Yeah.
summer, and
come
hopefully
on.
see you guys out there.
Yeah, please share your catches with us, guys. We love seeing them, and we love sharing. We Go Fish's Facebook page always accepts photos of guys with
We'll always share your
catches.
secret spots.
And
so
then
tell us.
race tech as well. Please share to us, guys. We love it.
100%. Great, thanks. It's all
That's
right.
it. Cheers.